Last question, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. I read somewhere that you said that if Andre Ward were to beat Kovalev, that would make a fight with him and Gennady even bigger. Now, one, is that true? And two, it seems like there'll be a weight disparity there, a big one, where they'd have to kind of meet in the middle again.
Well, Andre has pretty much moved on. He's at the 175 division right now. He fought at 172 in his last fight. He's committed to fighting now with Sullivan Barrera, who's also trained by Abel, who's undefeated. He's at pretty much the same level where Wade is at, and that's going to be a test for Andre. Somebody had asked me about what happens if Ward beats Kovalev. I mean, then Andre's back at the top where he was before. The only when Andre's name keeps coming up, the only criticism that Abel had was, or anyone from the team, has never been his skills or what he can do in the ring. He proved that in the Super 6. The only problem was, when his inactivity, as far as, he had the lawsuit with Dan Goosen, then he had the injuries, and then he came back and fought at 172. So it really wasn't something that was realistic at that time. And then, now the priority for Gennady is unifying the middleweight division. But I think, going back to that comment, look, if he beats Sullivan Barrera, if he beats Kovalev, all of a sudden Andre's at the top. If Gennady beats Canelo, now all of a sudden you got a mega fight. Now, even though it's 15 pounds away from each other, when you got two fighters of that caliber and that marketability at that point, then all of a sudden it becomes more realistic. When we were talking originally, when we talked to HBO in 2012, I went over a list of like 20 names with Peter Nelson, and Andre's name was on the list. That's when we did the fight with Proxa. His name was on the list. So that's when, Abel said, I'll fight, Gennady would fight anyone from 154 to 168, and Andre's name was included in that. Then he had fought Edwin Rodriguez, and then he had the issues with Dan, and then the injuries. But, besides that, there's no one from our side who's ever said anything disrespectful as far as questioning Andre's talent or what he can do in the ring. It's just, if Gennady ever fights outside of his division, it's got to be a big fight, and that's what we were talking about with the Froch fight. I mean, Froch sold out Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people. I mean, no one does that, and that's what we were looking at. If he's going to take a risk and move up in weight, he's got to get compensated for it. Just like when Floyd moved up, and when he fought Oscar, when he fought Canelo, I mean, those were big names, and he got paid a lot of money, and it was a huge fight, and that would be the same that we'd be looking at for Gennady.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Tom. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you, Luis.